everybody. Welcome back again to a little Austin Sports Weekend with Austin, the man here himself. We are up to Week 13, Week 14 in the NFL.
The playoff race is about to ramp up.
This has been an interesting year, hasn't it?
Yep.
It's
in more ways than one.
In more ways than one. Before we get started, though, thanks again for Severe TV for setting us up here in studio. And thanks again for Autographs Plus for sponsoring us. Got a couple cool helmets, a little Baker helmet, a little Camara helmet. Be sure and check them out for Christmas. But let's jump in. Let's go ahead and recap Week 13. We had some interesting, fun games in it.
Let's start off with
Thanksgiving games.
Happy Thanksgiving to those outside of our...
Happy Thanksgiving. Merry Christmas coming up. Merry Christmas coming up.
Merry Christmas. Let's start off with the most interesting game of the bunch to talk about.
Go ahead.
Lions-Bears.
That was the last game of the night.
That was the first.
That was the first game of the night, wasn't it?
And boy, did we get something special on Thanksgiving.
That
clock
management at the end of that game was
horrible.
The worst clock management I think I have ever seen in the NFL, at least in my memory. That's the worst clock management that I have ever seen by a NFL.
It got so bad that the head coach was fired after the game.
They fired him after the game.
Matt Eberflus is Ebergone.
Yep.
But can you blame them? He threw a win away.
They were down 3 points.
He threw a tied game away.
Had the ball right around the 40-ish. Had 32 seconds and a timeout.
And let the clock run.
They let the clock run. Snap the ball
at 5 seconds.
At 5 seconds.
What's the timeout?
With a timeout in their pocket. Threw the ball away and lost the game.
Horrible.
Horrible. 32 seconds and a timeout in your pocket, and all you needed was a field goal to tie and go to overtime.
Horrible.
I mean, you were looking at what, a 57-yard field goal or so from where they that. So all they needed to do was pick up 5 or 6 yards, call the timeout.
It hurt my brain watching that.
Try a 45, 50-yard field goal, whatever they need.
I was just sitting there saying, what the heck are the Bears doing? Even people who don't know football are saying, what are they doing?
Yeah, whenever it ended, I was sort of stunned. I was sort of shocked a little bit.
Did that happen?
What in the was that?
Was that the game? The Lions were confused.
I think the Lions were over there. They almost felt sorry for him and called the timeout for him, I think. That was...
Got a coach fired, so happy Thanksgiving to the Bears.
Happy Thanksgiving. Go home and have Thanksgiving with your family and don't come back. That was pretty bad. We had the Packers, Dolphins. The Dolphins cannot go to a cold
environment
and win. I think they have a pretty bad record going into cold weather.
We got the Green Bay Packers at 9-3 right now.
Yeah,
the youngest roster in the NFL.
Yeah, they probably got the brightest future because they do have the youngest roster.
And Matt LaFleur has been a proven coach.
Yeah, he has been. Yeah. We had the Cowboys Giants. The Cowboys are on a 2-game winning streak. Thank you. Now we will. Hey, what was the record I said we were going to be at the beginning of the year?
7-10.
Okay, what are we right now?
5-7.
5-7. So if we go 2-3 the rest of the year, we're 7-10, baby. I hate this so much.
Do you know what
I would rather go 3-14 and have a good draft pick than to go 7-10, 8-9,
get an above average pick.
Get an average pick and be an average team. That's what the Cowboys are. They're an average. They're average, We won't fire anybody. We won't hire anybody.
They defeated the football equivalent of a sleep aid.
Yeah, because the Giants are bad.
The
Cowboys are bad. The Giants are really bad.
The Giants are probably the worst team. And Jalen Hyatt, he actually had a couple of targets here.
Yeah, that's because they had a backup quarterback in.
And
I don't know. I really had a lot of hope for their head coach.
But he's completely sputtering.
I don't know if it's him. I don't know if it's the offensive coordinator, defensive coordinator. I don't know what it is, but
I think it's everything.
It is a disaster. They got rid of Daniel Jones.
And it doesn't look any better.
No, I think they scored more points with him. Jump on in. We had a Friday game this week because of the holiday week. We had Raiders, Chiefs.
And more close magic
How
horseshoe.
did the Chiefs win this game?
Matt Nagy's one of the worst offensive coordinators
Matt
in
Nagy
football.
is probably, he may be the worst coordinator in NFL.
Alan Pierce may disagree with you because he's
He
got Todd
may.
Downing.
Todd Downing on the Jets is pretty bad. Yeah, you might be right. Nagy may be.
One of the worst, but he
One of
is
the
one of
worst.
the worst. But how do the Chiefs keep winning these games? Can someone
Uh,
explain that to me? They have a horseshoe in their
But of
pocket.
course, there'll be a turnover happen magically at the end, or somebody will miss a field goal,
Or get
there'll be a
blocked.
penalty,
Or they get thrown an interception.
Or
Or
they-
they a fumble, like happened in this game.
a fumble. They should have won it. All they were doing was trying to get 2 or 3 more yards to get an easier field goal.
And then they fumble the snap.
And he fumbled the snap. They snapped it early, and turned the ball over and lost the game.
How about that?
Do you remember what was it? Was it 3 years ago, 2 years ago? Who was it? Was it the Vikings that were 12-0?
Yeah.
And we said that's the worst 12-0 team I've ever seen in my entire life.
And then they
are
lost the
not
first
gonna,
round.
and they lost in the first round of the playoffs. It was just the Chiefs are one of the worst 11-1 teams
I've seen.
I've seen in a long time.
They're so average at almost everything except for
the quarterback.
Except for the quarterback.
Patrick Mahomes has got to be the best quarterback. Josh Allen is making a claim at it. But to win, to be 11-1 with
Nagy?
that bad of an offense,
Someone give Patrick Mahomes an award because I don't know how you could actually stand being coordinated by Matt Nagy for so long.
yeah, it's
This
so
is the
bad.
second year with
It's
this
so
man.
bad, and their worst this year is I don't know, but they're 11-1, and that's all that matters. They'll end up with a home playoff game.
Whoopee!
Sundays we had the Bucks Panthers.
Please
the Panthers.
don't remind me of this.
The Panthers should have won that game too.
Please don't remind me of that ending. Please don't. Please
fumble.
Don't. No.
Fumble at the last second.
No.
The Panthers should have won 3 games in a row,
No.
and give some credit to Adam Thielen though. That was one of the best catches I've ever seen in my entire life. One-handed, falling backwards, catches it on the tip, pulls it back in with one hand, stays in bound, and makes that catch. And then the very next play, you fumble it and lose the game. But that was one of the very best catches I think I have ever seen. The positive thing is
My
the
team
Panthers
looks better
are looking better.
despite the bad record.
Despite the bad record, I think right now nobody wants to play the Panthers, even with their record that it is right now, because they're starting to play some pretty good ball. They're starting to gel a little bit. And I honestly think if they pick up some good O-line, D-line, maybe some safeties or something in the draft.
Do you really think David Tepper's going to do all of that? Do you really think?
They're doing better now. Maybe the general manager stuff's got enough of a control to where they can
tell the owner David
back
Tepper
off
to
a little
stop?
bit. Back a little bit if you want me to win. You know. We had the Colts Patriots right down to the wire.
Patriots are out of the playoffs.
Yeah.
No surprise there, but
No.
Drake May is showing some optimism for the
I
future.
think Drake May is looking pretty good right now. I don't know if he's the future, but there's a good possibility that he's got the chance to be. He does. Steelers, Bengals.
The Bengals are the most unfortunate, unlucky team I've seen this year.
38 points and lose again.
How many times are they going to do this?
They've done it 5 or 6 times now.
I'm just asking, how many times? It's like an encore.
It won't
It's
be
like
this
watching
week.
the same movie.
It won't be this week. We ain't talked about this week yet, but this week they will get a big lead and they will keep it. We'll just talk about that game later. We got the Chargers Falcons.
Kirk Cousins, you like that 4-interception game?
Do you like it? Do you like it? Let's see here. Just a little positive note. Justin Herbert is second behind Peyton Manning now in passing yards to his first 5 seasons. How about them apples? Did you think that about Justin Herbert?
No. I didn't think he'd be anywhere near the stratosphere of Peyton Manning.
19,627 yards to his first 5 seasons, and he's got a good chance to pass Peyton. Probably not this late in the season, but those are some good numbers. I really like Justin Herbert. I think he's just had some bad.
He's had the Staleys, but now with Jim Harbaugh,
He has had
talents are starting to get a little more noticed.
Yeah, he has had some bad luck. But yeah, Harbaugh will instantly turn the team around. He's just a good coach.
Speaking of infinite bad luck,
Seahawks Jets.
only the Jets can have a 92-yard pick six from a defensive end, untouched.
Yeah.
I mean, at this point, it just feels like beating a dead horse.
Last year, through the first 12 games with Zach Wilson as quarterback, they were 5-7. This year, through the first 12 games, they're 3-9.
And the funniest part about all this is that the interim head coach Jeff Ulbrich goes up to the press box, and he says he has to go look at the film. And the reporter says, "Hey, why is your team struggling so bad this year?" And he said, "No, I don't know. I'm just going to go to the film room with Todd and try to figure this out with Coffee Boy Hackett." How can those three stooges
Hackett and Downing are the worst combination of offensive people maybe in the history of football. But they are terrible. You want to know why you're losing? Your offense. Why don't you try some new offensive coordinators?
But the interim head coach doesn't know. You might need to tell him. I feel bad for Al. He's throwing in the white flag.
Aaron Rodgers is a fantastic quarterback, Hall of Fame quarterback, was a Super Bowl winner, and they're wasting his last couple of years with bad, horrible coordinators.
Just get Todd and Nathaniel Hackett. Give them the pink slips.
Yeah. We had the Texans, Jaguars. Texans are struggling a little bit this year. They're not playing as good as last year, but they still won this one. The bad thing that happened.
Oh, Trevor Lawrence got the worst bit of it.
He got clocked. He's on the IR right now. He got a late hit.
Forearm to the face and instant concussion.
Yeah, and he's out. He's on the IR, and they suspended the player that hit him 3 games. So
that was the most memorable storyline of that game.
That is the most. Prayers up for Trevor there that there's no long-lasting effects from that. We had the Cardinals Vikings. This was an exciting game. The Vikings again
pull out a close game.
Funny that we've been talking about them about being. They're 10-2 right now, and I don't think they're that good of a team. I don't think they're going to go very far. Even though they are 10-2.
Speaking of a not very good team, the Titans.
Titans Commanders, 19 points by the Titans.
42 points given up.
42-19. They are terrible. And the positive news is the quarterback for the Commanders,
Jaden Daniels,
is pretty good.
He's looking pretty solid.
And another positive thing, Washington may be getting the Redskin logo back.
Do you want to go ahead and petition for it to return?
Oh, there's a petition for we won't get into depths here, but it was actually an honorable thing. That picture was. We won't get to it, but we hope they get their logo back. We had the Rams Saints,
and the Saints just continue to spiral down an empty toilet drain.
Yeah, they've got a couple good players, but
they're on an interim head coach.
Yeah, we got the Eagles Ravens. This was sort of a little bit of a surprise for me. I thought the Ravens at home.
Saquon Barkley continues his MVP case.
Yeah,
having his best season ever.
Saquon Barkley is fantastic. He's probably the head for the MVP right now. He is just tearing people up. You know who could use a good running back?
Yeah,
the Giants. 49ers Bills. Maybe one of the best plays of the season.
One of the best environments with all the snow.
The snow. Was that not a fun game to watch? I wouldn't want to be there, but that was a really fun game to watch.
It wasn't fun for San Francisco. This whole season's been a mess for
35-10. They are injured. And bad thing is McCaffrey is probably out for the season now.
Matt Madden cover, I tell you what.
Yeah, yeah. But Josh Allen looked fantastic. This is his time, his legacy could start in these next few games. In these next 5 games.
In the playoffs.
Yeah. But that was a fantastic play. And then Monday night we had Broncos, Browns. Jameis Winston, it's so fun to watch.
He is such a odd quarterback because
He threw 6 touchdowns.
2 to the Denver Broncos,
4
to his own team.
4 to his team and 2 to the Denver Broncos.
He is the most giving quarterback I've ever. If you're
It is
talking
the
about
season
a
of
holiday,
giving. He's
talk
a
about the holiday
quarterback.
season. He's the holiday quarterback. Put
Yeah.
a Santa hat on him. Put Santa's. Put the Grinch hat on.
Yeah. He's so fun to watch. Oh, I love him. He's so fun. But he needs to quit throwing
Interceptions.
so many
His
interceptions.
interceptions are driving my sister crazy.
Yeah, all right, let's go ahead and jump on to Week 14, do some picks here. Thursday night, we have one of the games of the year so far, Packers at the Lions.
Division rivalry.
The best 2 teams in the division. Hey, how about this division? 11-1 Detroit, 9-3 Green Bay,
10-2 Minnesota.
10-2 Minnesota.
And you got the Bears just.
And the
powering.
Bears are, who knows what the Bears are. The Lions are favored by 3. I'm actually going to pick the Lions. I think the Lions as a group are better. The Packers probably have another year or 2 to build up to where they need to be. Sunday, we got Panthers at the Eagles.
Okay, I feel like this might be some sort of twist of fate by Roger.
I'm going to pick the Eagles to win because they should at home.
At least it'll get me one game closer to a good draft pick.
But the line's 12.5. I think the line's way too much. I think it might be a 7, 8, even 9-point game, but I think 12.5, that's 2 touchdowns basically. So I'm going to pick the Panthers and the spread as far as that go, but the Eagles to win. Saints, Giants, somebody's got to win this. I'm going to probably pick the Saints just because they've got a good running back.
Yeah.
Browns, Steelers, Steelers
Jameis
on this
Winston
one.
against Russell Wilson. I mean,
Yeah, I picked the Steelers. The Steelers are at home. Steelers are 6.5 points favored. I actually like that. Falcons at the Vikings.
what the heck are the Falcons?
Honestly, I'm terrified of this game because it depends on which Kirk Cousins shows up and which Donald shows up. The Vikings could look terrible, or the Falcons could look terrible. Minnesota's favored by 6. I honestly think that might be too much. I don't know. I'm terrified of that game, but the home team Vikings should win.
2-10 against 3-9. Jaguars, Titans.
Oh, you got the Raiders Bucks first here.
Oh yeah,
The Raiders at the Bucks.
the Buccaneers should take this one.
Yeah, the Raiders are sort of reeling. They changed their coaching staff around a little bit, and it made it worse.
and
so-
now Pierce is going to have to look at a few things.
Yeah. Didn't they fire a coach recently?
I think so. The OC.
I think they fired the OC. Yeah. So the Bucks should win that. We got Jaguars, Titans.
Someone's got to win
2
that.
and 10, 3 and 9.
Yeah, isn't that just splendid?
I'll probably pick Tennessee just because Trevor Lawrence is out.
You got Mac Jones in the back.
Yay. Jets, Dolphins.
Oh my goodness.
I think the Jets are in a tailspin right now. I'll pick the Dolphins minus 5.5. I got the Dolphins. Seahawks, Cardinals.
This is for the division lead right now.
Probably go Arizona because it's on the road, and the Seahawks just come off of a win. So I'm gonna go Arizona. Bills, Rams. This is
Give me Buffalo.
at LA. The line's only 3.5, and I think that might be the gimme of the week. I think Buffalo is trying to surge right now. This may be a double-digit win. Bears, 49ers.
Give me San Francisco here.
I would probably take San Francisco too, even though they're reeling right now. Chargers, Chiefs. This is a fantastic game. 8-4 against 11-1. I'm going Chargers.
You want to go the Chargers here? I feel
It
the
has
Chargers
to
here.
happen sometime. Even though it's at Arrowhead, they have to lose some game.
And that's
They
where-
can't keep winning a game
that's
by
the
pure
referee's
luck.
favorite spot, right? That's the referee's favorite spot.
You talked about people having the 12th man. The Chiefs have the 12th man on the field with them. The ref. I'm actually going to go with the upset. Our Chargers +4, and then here's the game that I told you that the Bengals would not give up the lead this week. You know why?
Because they're playing the Cowboys.
Because they're playing the Cowboys. This will be a 38-10 game. Cincinnati's only favored by 5. Take the money and run with it. Cincinnati will win by double digits in this one. Trust me. Let's see if we got any news here. Taysom Hill for the Saints sadly tore his ACL and he is out for the season.
Prayers for him.
Yeah, so he was definitely one of their best players. Let's see here. Right now, I was just looking at average salaries for the year. Derrick Henry's only making $8 million, where Christian McCaffrey's making 19, but he's got the injury. All right, I think that's about all we've got as far as any breaking news goes. So that's it for the NFL this week. We are creeping up towards the end of it right now, so
Yep.
it is. Thanks again as we roll up here. Thanks again for SevereTV.com for setting us up in studio. Thanks again for Autographs Plus for sponsoring us. Be sure to check them out for the holiday buys. Other than that, we will see you
Next week.